videos, well, it wasn't that bad because you weren't really that pregnant. It Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Mandy. My hair is a little bit crazy, so I'm sorry about that. It's got a mind of its own. Anyway, welcome back to my channel. As you can see by the title of this video, this is another story time. I am going to tell you about my miscarriage story. So I'm gonna hop right into this. So on May the 10th of 2018, I had a miscarriage. I was just about 12 weeks, and what actually happened was I woke up and I went to the bathroom like you do first thing in the morning. I don't know, well, that is my routine, and I was bleeding and my heart just sank, and for a while, like I'm not gonna say like this made it happen or whatever, but like I had just like felt uneasy, and a lot of videos about miscarriage came up, and like obviously I skipped them because I didn't want to like think about that or anything. I don't think anyone wants to think about that. And so we rushed off to the hospital, and they took me to go and get an ultrasound, and there was no heartbeat, there wasn't anything, but the lady who did my ultrasound, she didn't speak to me, she didn't look at me, and I was just bawling my eyes out at this stage. I'm by myself in the room with this lady, and she didn't say anything. They rolled me back to the room where I was in, and two doctors come in and they're like, you're having a miscarriage. It was called a something abortion. I'll put it up on the screen if I remember. And my heart just sank and I couldn't hold myself together. And so they gave me something when I was there just to help clear my system out. And then I had to take 8 more of these tablets the next day. Exactly 8 hours or something in between. And it was very, very painful. I remember going to Trader Joe's just to go and get some food. I didn't want anything. I just wanted to curl up in a ball and just sleep for the rest of my life. So that happened, and I didn't know how to deal with it. It wasn't something that I'd been through like a whole lot of times. So I wish that I had my family with me, and my family was so supportive, even from afar. Like I got so many messages, and I think it's something that a lot of women actually go through, but they don't talk about it. And so I felt that they carried me through this. And at the time, I had my 2 days, and then I had to get back to work. Obviously, I didn't want to go to work, but I had to work because the bills aren't gonna pay themselves. And so at this time, my husband goes, well, it wasn't that bad because you weren't really that pregnant. Excuse me, say what now? Um, so I don't really know what that pregnant is, because when I was pregnant with Isabella, I only really popped at about 8 months, 8.5. Like at the end is when I popped, so I didn't look very pregnant. I also didn't act very pregnant because he was a crazy psycho. So I don't really know what very pregnant was, but I wasn't the kind who got sick or whatever. Thank you, Lord Jesus. So that was the first thing. Then Mother's Day came, and my mother-in-law was like, well, aren't you just glad that you had a miscarriage? I'm pretty sure she didn't mean to come across that way, but I was like, I'm gonna go to work now because it's gonna be more fun at work. So that was interesting. So obviously I was not feeling very supported by them. So I ended up like, I lost myself on YouTube just watching a whole lot of women who had been through miscarriages, who had this might have been a good and a bad thing, because there was this one lady who I like just fell in love with her, and she just kept having miscarriage after miscarriage. So that like totally stressed me out, because I was like, well, what if I'm not gonna be able to have babies? My body's betraying me. Okay, so we think our body is betraying us when we have a miscarriage. Then when we can't breastfeed, then we think our bodies are betraying us again. We give our bodies a really hard time. That's the first thing that I want to say. So then I was also reminded, because I was talking to my mom a lot, and I had gotten very ill while I was in South Africa, like 7 years ago. I don't know, 7-8 years ago. And I was in the hospital for about 2 weeks. And while I was in the hospital, a doctor said to me that that I actually couldn't have babies. And I forgot about this. Obviously, I was young. I didn't have anyone to have babies with, so I didn't really care. Not that I didn't care, but I just didn't want it to be real. So then my mom reminded me of that. So I was like, oh, I'm just very broken and never gonna be a mom. Only for 2 months later to be pregnant. But it was very, like, the 2 months that I went through, I felt so alone. And I know I wasn't alone. I had the support of my parents and my family. My sister-in-laws were like texting me all the time and just checking that I was doing okay. My friends checked in, so I wasn't alone. Please don't think I was alone, but I just felt alone. So if you have experienced a miscarriage or anything like that, please know that my heart goes out to you. It's something that is, like doctors said, it was so like blasé how they dealt with it. They were like, oh, this happens to a lot of women. And obviously I understand that it happens to a lot of women, but I didn't think that I would be here at this point, having just lost my baby. So after I took the medicine, I think it was like 2 weeks later, I had to go and have an ultrasound just to make sure that everything had come out of my system. And that is when my OB had said that, because I asked her, I was like, am I broken, or like, is there something wrong? Can I not have children? And she was like, girl, you have the perfect inner lady parts to be having babies. You're gonna be fine. And she said that when your body is ready, you'll fall pregnant, but it'll be like healthy if you give your body a month or two. And my body just did whatever it wanted to do, and 2 months later I fell pregnant. So that was my miscarriage story. But when I found out that I was pregnant with Isabella, like, I didn't make such a big deal of it because the last time up until 3 months I wasn't very pregnant, so I just kept it to myself. Obviously, the girl was stressed out, but I brought a little baby into this world and she is kick ass. So yeah. So that is my miscarriage story. I hope I have empowered and made somebody else just feel how I felt watching other people's videos, because it is something that is very hard. You are trying to understand it. Your body is not broken. Give yourself some time. And who knows, maybe you'll have a baby soon. I also got lost. This is just a side note. I got so lost in watching trying to conceive videos. And my one biggest prayer, and that is what did happen with Isabella, was when I fall pregnant, I don't want to be looking for a line. I think they even have a name for this, but I didn't want to be oh, I think I see a line. I wanted it to just be bam in your face, and that is literally what happened with Isabella. I don't know if I was late on taking the test, but I did have a calendar up in the kitchen that had when my period was meant to come, and I think I tried maybe on the day, maybe a couple days before, but that thing popped up because I didn't want to be guessing. So that was something that I got lost in. I love, it's like my guilty pleasure. I didn't know I was pregnant, love those. Trying to conceive, love those. And I mean, I always get so invested in these people. I'm oh, I hope they have a baby real soon. And then family vlogs, but for real, those two things were really my go-to. We had a fire stick or whatever, but I was I just want to watch I didn't know I was pregnant, TLC. Oh my goodness, that was my show. Anyway, so that is my miscarriage story, and I hope you enjoyed this, or this helps you. If you know of anyone who needs to see this video, please be sure to share it, subscribe, comment down below. Peace out. Hi. Look, kisses.
Baby. Hi.
Look, kisses.